What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Monday, June 5th, 2023. How's everybody doing out there? How's your week getting started? How's it going? Oh boy. Had a couple cocktails at lunch today. I had to run over to Tampa to the goddamn Apple store. You want to enjoy life, don't go there. That place is perpetually just fucking slammed and out of control. I see PC in the chat already. What's up, PC? Happy Monday to you. Yeah, but anyway, went to the meat market. Fucking restaurant. Yeah, I hate Mondays too, PC. Nothing good about them. Then Tuesdays have no feeling at all. Like it feels like it's still Monday or it's already Wednesday, you know. Tuesdays are just a waste of time. Should just chop that sucker in half, give half to Monday, give half to Wednesday, you know. So anyway, what's up, Billy? Billy's in the chat. PC, Costco. Yeah, I don't have a Costco nearby me, thank God. I'd be up in there. The old lady would make me get a freaking membership. We'd be in there sampling the samples. You know how they do it. But so today, let me throw the topic out at you, and you guys can hit me up in the chat. Please subscribe. Anybody out there that's watching other than PC and Billy, I know you guys are subscribed. I don't have to ask you. But everybody else, please like and subscribe the video. Appreciate it. Drop your questions and comments in the chat, and we'll get to them in a second. Your questions and comments drive the show when it comes to the rush hour. So hop in there. Today's topic is about the QB competition dilemma. Should Ryan Day, Corey Dennis extend the battle into the regular season? Meaning maybe take the first 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I would say probably the first 2 weeks and give each guy one game or something like that. Give them equal shots at the job versus choosing a guy in fall camp. What do you guys think? I think we'll get to some of the upside and downside. What prompted this topic for me was Kirk Herbstreit was on 3 has a show, I guess, on YouTube. JD Pickle. I'm going to change my name to that. JD Pickle. That's pretty awesome. I don't even know who the hell this guy is, but I like his name. Anyway, he has a show on YouTube, and anyway, Herbstreit was on it, and Herbstreit said, quote, "I don't think Day and Dennis even know. I really don't. I think you've got 2 guys that are more than capable. Ohio State's been pretty spoiled at that spot with their receivers since Ryan Day's taken over. They're going to find a way to put a lot of points on the board, regardless of which guy wins it." And he went on to say, I think he'll go into summer camp talking about Ryan Day. They'll have those scrimmages, and then I wouldn't be shocked if they use the first 2 or 3 games to let these guys play it out. It's hard to make a big decision like that from a scrimmage in the summer. It's only fair, like what Jim Harbaugh did last year. Give a guy a half or a game, give the other guy the same thing. Then I think it's easier to make the decision. So that's what Herbstreit had to say on the Pickle Show. I don't know. So think about that for a second. Let me just throw some Ryan Day things at you. So what's Ryan Day looking for in his QB1? Let's step back and kind of assess it from square one. He always says this: make the routine plays routinely. That's like level 1 stuff for Ryan Day when he's looking for a QB1. With the surrounding cast the Buckeyes have, he doesn't need a quarterback to be extraordinary. The QB has to take care of the football, make good decisions, and lead the offense ultimately, right? I mean, nothing really outlandish here or groundbreaking. But he must have 2 qualities above all else: competitiveness and an extraordinary trait. Now, you talk about Braxton Miller, Cardale Jones, JT Barrett, Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud. All those guys are examples of having that competitiveness and an extraordinary trait. They all had that. They all had different traits, different extraordinary traits. Like a JT Barrett did not have the arm and accuracy of a CJ Stroud, but CJ Stroud did not have the big ass and legs of a JT Barrett, right? So those are the traits that not everybody has, just examples. They have to be competitors because of what it takes to be a quarterback at the Ohio State University. So neither Brown or Kyle McCord took the job and ran with it in the spring. McCord at one point seemed to have a slight edge, but the gap is not very wide at all, if there is one. But I know some of the key pieces like the receivers and stuff and running backs weren't even available to the offense this spring. So I'm not sure you could get an accurate gauge of either guy. And there's no real definitive timeline right now. Ryan Day will not nail down anything in, concrete on that. So CJ, keep in mind, he was named the starter August 21st, 2021. So that was about, I think it was a week or 10 days before that Thursday night game against Minnesota. So should Ryan Day let the games show us, like reveal to everybody in front of the entire world who the quarterback should be? We know the schedule here, but I'll read off the first three games. We got at Indiana, then we come back home, Youngstown State, and then Western Kentucky comes to town. At Indiana should be a win. You can rely on the running game and defense, as long as the quarterback doesn't completely shit the bed. But that should not be a challenge. But you do have the Notre Dame game coming up week 4, September 23rd. You got to have a starter in place at least a week ahead of that. So I hate to say it, but this thought process, this way of doing it worked for Harbaugh in Michigan last year. They gave JJ one game and Cade McNamara another game, and each got the entire game, and JJ clearly won the job. But when I think of a two-man competition, a two quarterback system, whatever, I just think of 2015 most recently. Then I think back to Stanley Jackson, Joe Germain. Cooper made the decision late in the season to switch from Jackson to Germain 100%. And I think it ended up screwing the Buckeyes. I've heard Stanley Jackson say the exact same thing, that waiting too long actually hurt us. So that's today's topic. Should the Buckeyes let the games show you who the quarterback should be? I am going to read the comments now, and the comments are popping. All right, guys, I appreciate it when you hop in here. Starting with thank you, PC. He says you did a good job last week or whenever it was debunking the myth that McCord isn't mobile. Thank you. Appreciate that. Billy says, I don't think Day's mind will work that way. PC says, I like JD. He's good. Billy says, I like him too. Billy says, I think Day already has a good idea of who is starting. Okay. Who do you think that is? Is it Kyle? Because of the experience? PC says, nothing will be decided until about 2 to 4 weeks before the start of the season. There's no benefit to announcing earlier. One could bounce, and that wouldn't be good. I agree with everything you say there. I don't know about 4 weeks. That's basically the beginning of fall camp. So that's like end of July, early August. I don't think they've announced the actual dates of fall camp, but it would be a little interesting if he announced it that early. 2 weeks, yeah, I would give you 2 weeks. That's right around the time CJ Stroud was announced as a starter. Billy says he agrees about announcing, but he says, I think Day is pretty sure in his mind already. And PC agrees. I don't see Ryan Day taking this into the season. I don't see the upside there. If you if you're watching practice going against this defense, and he's one of the guys is making strides against this defense, then I think that really says something for him. And I don't know how playing an Indiana defense is better than an Ohio State defense in practice. Even if I know the quarterbacks wear the black jersey, they're not going to take a hit. They know they're not, so they can be a little more footloose and, fancy free or whatever. But I don't think beating up on garbage teams like Michigan did early last year, I don't think that shows you anything. It shows us, I mean, the fans and the people watching, all over the place, but it doesn't show. What's it showing to Ryan Day? You can fillet through Indiana's defense or Western Kentucky or whatever. Big fucking deal. It's like playing, that's like playing a Western Kentucky or Youngstown. I don't know how that shows us anything. So I disagree with this entire Herb Street thought. Not the first time I've disagreed with Herb Street or Buckeye Nation has disagreed with him, that's for sure. But I disagree entirely. Why does it take 2 to 3 games to decide your starting quarterback? Again, playing garbage competition. What if the defense shuts down Indiana's offense, most likely, and sets up the Ohio State offense with awesome field position. I'm talking, maybe at their own 40, 45 all day long. So you got a short field relatively, or they get a bunch of turnovers in the other team's side of the field. Then is that really showing you anything? If the offense only has to go 30, 40 yards, that does nothing for me. I mean, show me freaking practice where Kyle McCord is lacing balls over the outstretched fingers of Denzel Burke or Jordan Hancock or Tommy Eichenberg, where he's eluding a rush, from JT or Jack, or a blitz from Steel Chambers. Show me that shit. That is much more valuable. Those experiences, I feel, are way more valuable than beating up on some jerk offs, whether it's even Big Ten teams, like low-level Big Ten teams. Half the fucking conference is terrible and should be beat up on with me at quarterback, honestly. And I can't fucking throw. I'd be pulling it down and just running my face into the line of scrimmage or the back of some old lineman's ass. But let's see what's happening here in the chat. We got PC says, yes, on McCord. I like Brown too, but I wouldn't want him to bounce. I think a quarterback can't really leave once this camp starts, fall camp. It'd be really dumb because you lose out on working out. You can't go join another team. There's no transfer windows open during the season. So you lose out on the facilities, the coaching, the training, all that shit. If you just go home, you decide, fucking, I'm out of here. That's like somebody that really just is a head case. And I don't see that coming out of these guys at all. Billy says that whoever starts, the backup should get a lot of playing time the first 3 games. Exactly. Yep. That's big. Again, we talked previously, I don't remember what show it was, but we talked about Ryan Day handling blowouts better as far as getting other guys, young guys, reps, second, third stringers, get them in the freaking games. The freshmen, get them in the game, baptism by fire. PC says whoever's going to be QB1 needs to be ready for Notre Dame. Yep. Even though I do think we will curb stomp them. Okay. Tell me how you really feel, PC. Billy says, I get nervous predicting curb stompings. Yeah. We've had our moments where, we were predicted to blow somebody out and it's a ball game into the 4th. So Billy says, did Brown get a red shirt last year? I heard somebody say he did. I believe so. Yeah, he redshirted. So He's got 4 more years, including this year. Yeah. So Kyle, though, never redshirted. So keep that in mind when you're comparing the two. Lincoln Kineholz should be coming on campus here soon if he's not yet. I think he wanted to finish his baseball season and win a state championship. Oh, wow. So, yeah. Do you guys see? I'm asking the crowd, to everybody. Do you guys see an upside to taking this battle into the season and giving each guy one game? Like Kyle gets Indiana and Devin gets Youngstown. So I don't see it. Again, the competition level. And it's not like you're gonna, I don't know, there's nothing you can do about the schedule. You're playing who you're playing, and beating up on Youngstown State, I don't know. How do you compare that? It's not apples to apples. Both teams are not playing the same team. I mean, both quarterbacks are not playing the same defenses. One's playing a Division I team and a Big Ten team in Indiana. The other is playing a freaking Division II team. So that's not even comparable either. So that's why I think Herb Street's way off base. And I don't know who his pickle farmer buddy is, but disagree with both of them. I saw a video by that pickle guy basically echoing what Herb Street said. And I disagree. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. I don't think you're going to see Alabama or Georgia doing that this year. They'll be dealing with first year starters. Bama has a little bit bigger problems, I think. So PC says, not sure if I would do that. Day talks about having a leader to look to. Can you have 2 leaders as QB? Not sure. No, I would say hell no to your question, PC. I agree with you 100%. And again, it goes back. Remember 2015, Cardale Jones versus JT Barrett, week 1 against Vatech. Nobody knew who the fuck the starter was until Urban Meyer called Cardale into the huddle the very first possession of the game for the Buckeyes. What kind of communication is that? That is dumb. What kind of plan is that? Jeez, talk about flying by the seat of your pants. Billy says, I don't know, but I do trust Day to make the right decision when it comes to QB. He hasn't made a wrong one yet. He's been here, 6 years, 7 years. He has not made a wrong decision, going back to when he was QB coach and offensive coordinator. Got Dwayne. Made Dwayne a 5,000 yard, 50 touchdown guy, when he's never started. Took Justin Fields, second year guy, came into the program fresh. Didn't really do a lot at Georgia, but made him a freaking stud in 2019. Should have won that Clemson game. Probably would have been in the national championship. So Ryan Day knows what the hell he's doing when it comes to quarterbacks. That's why I push all my chips into the middle of the table, into the Ryan Day pot. So if he really thinks that waiting and giving each guy one regular season game is the answer, I won't argue with him. I'm not going to like it, but it's his call. I mean, I trust in Day, across the board, not just this position either. So what else we got here in the chat? PC says, I think it'll be McCord and I think he'll be ready. Yeah, I agree. He also says that I just hope the O-line holds up for him. I think they will. Yeah, Justin Fry is one of the best O-line coaches in the country. And I think you're going to start seeing that if you haven't yet. So I think this O-line is going to be good. It's going to take a little while to gel. This is where I would have maybe some competition in games, give Zen Mahalski a half and then give Josh Simmons a half or something like that. I think Tegra is going to eventually be a guard anyways. So you could, if you want to mess around with that, I wouldn't, but I think Fryer has locked down the left tackle position unless he really comes out and just totally shits the bed in fall camp, which I don't expect. Then you start looking at other options. But the right tackle job is the only one that really is up in the air. The guards, rock solid. Center, you could do the same with Hinsman and Jacob James. We don't know, but Jacob James is supposed to be back and ready for fall camp. Like the entire roster is supposed to be ready for fall camp. But when it comes to Hinsman and Jacob James at that center position, I think you could go a half and a half or a game each. I think I feel better about doing a half and a half each. But that's the only place I would consider doing that competition stuff. Quarterback, only one freaking quarterback plays, man. And that's why you cannot just go willy-nilly in there and start handing guys one game, What's up, Eric Montoya? Finally made alive. Salute, Joe. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it, Eric. Good to have you. So, Eric, you might want to get caught up. Should the Buckeyes take the quarterback battle into the regular season the first couple of weeks, give Kyle one game and then give Devin one game or a half and a half? What do you think, Eric? Hit me up with your questions and comments. What else? We were talking about position battles. Yeah, the quarterback position for me is the one where you cannot have this battle going on into the season. What happens if the Indiana game is really freaking close and whoever the quarterback is has 3 interceptions, a fumble, or a pick 6 mixed in there? What do you do then? You yank him in the middle of the game and say he's done, over, next guy up, and that's the next guy's season from here on out. I don't know. I guess you kind of have to, but it opens this thought of making this competition part of the regular season. It just opens up too many moving parts and too many issues. That's why I think you rarely see this work out well. The reason it worked out well for Michigan last year is because they had a shit schedule. They had one of the worst schedules in the friggin' country, man. They were playing Hawaii and shit like that the first few weeks. PC says, if they're going to split, I would do it with Youngstown State or Eastern Kentucky, not Indiana, definitely not Notre Dame. Yeah, I think if you were to do that split stuff and give them each a half, yeah, I don't know. Is Indiana that tough though? Right. I see your point, Billy. He says that if the Indiana game is close, we have bigger problems than QB. Yes, I agree. But what if the reason it's close is because of the QB, just turning the ball over or whatever? Eric says, I agree with you. I won't like going into the season, but I trust in Day. Yep. Go Bucks. I agree, Eric. Appreciate that. We're going to go for a few more minutes. If you guys got anything else you want to talk about, drop it in the chat. When I read this quote from Herbstreit, I was like, I know Herbstreit has been at practice and he probably has access whenever he wants. So has he heard this from somebody on the staff is my question. Because I don't know if Herbstreit would just bring this up out of the blue without hearing this around the facility or from somebody close to the facility or close to the staff. It's kind of a random thought, and I don't know where it came from. Who knows? It could have come from Herbstreit's own brain. He says stupid shit sometimes, so very possible. PC says Indiana isn't tough, but it's the first game. Going to be some kinks to work out. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if the defense is playing the way we know it can and we expect it to, I think it's got all the makings of a shutout potentially. A single digit kind of day on the Indiana scoreboard. So I don't know. They're not a good team. So, and they lost a bunch of dudes. So Indiana doesn't concern me at all. But again, how do you compare apples to apples for both quarterbacks if you're splitting time, and let's say you give each quarterback half of the Indiana game, just for an example. What if the first quarterback goes in, the Buckeyes get up by 35 in the first half, which is very, very realistic. We've seen it. And then the other guy goes in the second half and they're just running the ball, trying to, bleed the clock, get out of there. And they only put up 21 points in the second half. We've seen that happen too. So how do you grade that? First quarterback went in, and lit it up. Second guy didn't have to light it up. He was more of a game manager, you could say, and turning around and handing the ball off a lot more in the second half just to, preserve the win, bleed the clock and get out of there. So I don't know if that's fair. I'm not sure how that works out. That's why, Day and his buddy Corey Dennis have to they got to make this decision. I don't know. You've had all of spring, so that was a month. Then you have summer camp, just summer workouts. You can't do like 11 on 11 and 7 on 7 type stuff, but you have workouts you're throwing with your receivers, tight ends, all that. And then you got fall camp where you can actually do scrimmages and shit like that. So out of all that time, that's like months and months of work. If you can't make a decision by then maybe you need to reevaluate your evaluation, if you're Ryan Day. PC says, how do you grade them? I don't know. It doesn't sound fair. Yeah. So there is no apples to apples comparison down like equal across the board. There just isn't. So, these guys are going to have to make the decision I agree, Billy. Great point. It was for show. He wanted to dodge all of the questions of why he chose this quarterback to start. Billy says that last year, I think Harbaugh's quarterback competition was just for show. He knew who it was going to be. And I think everybody did, that's why I was not a bit surprised that they gave it to JJ. I think I expected him, honestly, to give it to JJ week 1 and not even do the whole game share shit. So, I agree with you, Billy. Harbaugh was just trying to, put it out there to the world and let, show them, basically let the world see what he saw in practice. Yeah, they each got the first 2 games of the season. I don't remember who it was. I know Hawaii was one of the games, but JJ got 1 game and then McNamara got the other. And then it was JJ's team the rest of the season. So week 3, they made a final decision and went forward there. So, no, it didn't take a long time at all. So, all right, folks. Appreciate you guys. I like this topic. It's a good one. Herb Street always says something stupid, and we get to jump on it. I don't think McNamara got hurt early. He might have got dinged up for a couple snaps, but he played most of his game that he was given, he was in charge of. So I'm going to run. Appreciate you guys. Hit me up in the comments. I always respond there too. So talk to you later. Have a good one. Go Bucks.